Eric should enjoy being away. Donna wants Brooke to talk to Ridge. She was saying how Eric really needs this, so something gonna be wrong with Eric. That's the way it looked. Y'all know they had already said that he's supposed to be sick. They didn't say specifically what is going to be going on with him, but they definitely say he's supposed to be sick. They said this week. What's today? Thursday. So it got to be on tomorrow's episode when we find out what's going on with him. But yeah, Deacon has a therapy session with Taylor, and Sheila was saying at the end of the episode, she was talking to Dick. She ends up saying how she's decided to go to Hope's wedding. I was like, man, you're not going. I said, you're not going. I said, they don't want you there. I said, they not. Excuse me. I said, they don't want you there. Then when Deacon was talking to Taylor about it, he was saying how she gonna be crushed and everything. And I said, exactly. So I'm assuming that they didn't tell him what Beth said. Because if you watch the episode, you know that Beth said how she didn't want Sheila there. And we always talk, well, not all of us, but a lot of us were saying, when did she even be around Sheila to begin with to know what she got going on? Now, we'll say that nowadays, you know, social media, maybe that's the thing. I don't even know how old Beth is, to be honest. But yeah, I was like, maybe that's what it is. Maybe she heard grown-ups talking and stuff, because we ain't seen her with her. But yeah, I said, I'm assuming they finna get ready to have Hope and they gonna get married soon, because they speaking on it again. But hey, y'all, welcome back to another Chessie. Them notifications coming through. Welcome to another review of Life with Chess. This for the Bold and Beautiful, December 4th, 2025. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. What y'all think? That y'all like the episode? So nothing really been going on. I think what got me, they tried to get me to be all emotional and stuff at the end of the episode when Eric was watching them work and stuff like that. Then he closed the door and he sat down and he was thinking to himself how he not ready to go. How you don't want to leave, and he was saying how is this it or whatever, and I was like, look, they're trying to get me all emotional, trying to make me cry and stuff, but I ain't cry. I said, oh my goodness, what's gonna happen to him? And I want to know if they actually, has anybody heard anything about the man that plays Eric leaving the show? I don't think I heard nothing. I have been seeing, you know how they be making them fake little theories and stuff, them videos and stuff and posts. I did see that months ago where they were saying, what's his name? Is his name John? Or I can't think of his name, but they had his picture up there. They had his name up there, and they were saying how he's supposed to be leaving the show allegedly, but I don't know if that's true or not. But yeah, on today's new episode, I guess we start with Eric and Ridge. Eric was telling Ridge how he wants to help him, and I was like, look, I see both sides because Ridge brought up how last year, they almost lost him when they was competing against each other and stuff like that. And he want him to relax. He want him to vacation and stuff like that. Just take it easy, because he was like, he's not going to put him in that position again. So I understand that. But at the same time, I see Eric's point of view, because he did found a company, and Ridge obviously struggling. He's obviously struggling. He obviously need help. So I don't know if they're going to actually let Eric help, or they're going to seek out somebody else. Because they showed Dick talking. So maybe he'll be one of the people to design. And I was like, why can't they just bring Thomas back? That's another thing I seen. They said that Thomas supposed to be coming back for good, but so far he has not. But yeah, I was like, why they can't just bring him in? Then I was thinking, I was like, has Steffi ever designed, or she just do like the legal work and stuff like that? Not the legal work. That's Carter. She just handle the administration type stuff. She just the co-CEO. I don't know if I ever heard them say that she designed or anything like that. But yeah, he's clearly struggling. So why Eric can't help until they find a replacement? That'll be a good thing. But yeah, he just want him to take it easy. Eric was still trying to convince him he could do it. He ready. And Rich was telling him how he not ready. Do you even remember, how it was? He's like, of course I remember. And they just going back and forth. And Rich just started yelling. Like, y'all know how he be yelling and stuff. He always yelling. The old man tell. But yeah, he was trying to convince Eric to relax. Eric don't want to do that. He trying to tell him he could help him, but he ends up telling him no. And at the end of the episode, Rich ended up telling Brooke how he just wants to keep Eric safe. And I said, yeah, okay. He also was saying how, Eric had his time or whatever, so he has to hang it up. He has to give it up. I was waiting on Brooke to try to encourage him to let Eric work at least for a little bit or something. But no, because Donna had asked her to talk to Rich. She ain't say nothing. But yeah, what else? Is it something else with Ridge now? I don't know. I'm going to just scan these notes and see. Next, we got Donna and Brooke. Their whole scene was the same thing. Donna was speaking up for Eric, saying how Eric is the one who taught Ridge everything that he knows. She recognizes some of the designs look just like Eric's design and stuff. Like something he designed. And she was just trying to convince Brooke to talk to Ridge about it. And Brooke, she gonna be on Ridge's side, just like Katie said, just like Katie and Bill said. But yeah, what else? She made a comment, and I was waiting on Brooke to ask her what's going on. Wait, I skipped the part. Donna said Ridge should welcome working with Eric and stuff like that. They were talking about that, and she made a comment about how Eric really needs this. And she also made a comment about, to his dying days or whatever. So I was like, here they go again. I said, here they go again. They're always making it seem like somebody dying. Now, I don't know if he actually gonna die. I don't know if he's sick. They saying this week we supposed to been found out that he was sick. But so far, we have not. We got one more episode this week. So maybe on tomorrow's episode, that's when they're going to reveal it. But yeah, the whole scene at the end of the episode, I was like, yeah, this is something more is going on. I said, just let him help you until you find somebody else. That's the way to solve that. And he did, though. The other side, on Ridge's side, the other point that I get him is that if you ask him to do something and he doing it, then, you can't just come try to interfere whenever you want to, because you keep reminding him that you the founder, which he is, whatever. You should have never asked him to do it then. You should have never asked him. But once again, like, at least temporarily, you could work with him. You can work with him because you're clearly struggling. But yeah, Deacon, Sheila was all talking. Deke was talking to Deacon and Sheila about designing and how he want to make his own way until he could be one of the lead designers. So I was like, okay, is they going to make him a lead designer? Because they slid that in there while Ridge and Eric was talking about design and stuff like that. So I want to know if he's going to be one of the lead designers. And if he is, how's Thomas going to feel about that? Because, they got rid of him. They got him up out of there. So how's he gonna feel? But yeah, then Deacon was like he had to go because he had a therapy session with Taylor. So after he left, that's when Sheila was trying to get to know Deacon. He tried to get up out of there. He's like, all right, I'm gonna head out. He's like, well, Deacon gone, so there's no reason for me to stay. She's like, stay or whatever. I want to get to know you. And she just kept trying to relate to him and say how she's changed. And he was like, why does everybody in my life lately been saying they changed? And she was like, because it's true. People can change. And I said, we ain't seen Remy. I said, where Remy go? I thought he was gonna be the one that hit Luna. But yeah, they was standing up there talking about that, and she was trying to convince him to give her a chance. She want to show him that she's changed. She's not the same person. She not her past. Then she was like, that's why, they got to stick together because, Hope wedding is coming up and she's so excited because, she loves seeing weddings and romance and all this other stuff. I said, you ain't going. I said, you not going. He probably going to go with Taylor. I said, he probably going to go with Taylor. I said, wait till they tell him the Belt don't want you there. And they going to tell him he had to choose. If he decide he want to bring his wife, he can't come either. But yeah, that's like, look, that was when she was talking to Deke about going to the wedding and how excited she is for Hope's wedding and to show the Sharp family this and the Sharp family that. So you won't be there. The only way you be there is you intrude like you be doing all the time. If you come. Now I'd be shocked if Deke actually decide to bring her after they tell him no. So far they haven't told him anything, so we'll see. I'm assuming that's going to be on next week's episode. What else? I think the last thing with Deacon, Sheila she was saying how she excited for Hope's wedding. Then you got Taylor and Deacon. We already talked about Brooke and Ridge. So the last people is Taylor and Deacon. So he went to his therapy session. She seemed like she was dealing with some stuff. They was talking about the same thing. His relationship with Sheila, his marriage to Sheila, and how Sheila still saying how it's Taylor the reason why their marriage was saved and stuff like that. Then they started talking about doing another therapy session with the family and how they reacted to Sheila, and all this other extra doggone stuff. What else? Deacon said they started talking about Hope's wedding. And Taylor wanted to know basically if he thought that, she would get an invitation. He was like, if she don't get invited, she going to be devastated. I said, well, she might as well get ready to be devastated then. He said in the ideal world, then yes, she would be invited. I said, but she messed it up. Because then Hope never comes to his doggone wedding. She messed it up. She did that to herself. She should never. But the way they acting, they acted like she the one who saved the girl. I said, if that's the case, they should be highly upset at Lee too. Matter of fact, Lee shouldn't have been in their house the other day. She shouldn't have been nowhere in their house the other day. She the one who said all that emotion. They blaming more so Sheila. I was like, they acting like she the one who did. I mean, she did cover for her and she did snitch about the doggone promotion party, so she's learned nothing. But don't make it seem like she the one who was hiding her. She the one who saved her or whatever. But yeah, that's all that happened. Let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces, have girls today and be safe.